Welcome to Global Gist with BJ, and today we're talking about the Alligator Alcatraz. This came with a whole lot of pain in my heart because of the kind of things I've been seeing about that place. And to say that this place was actually built in just 8 days, oh my God, it's really heart wrenching. It's heart wrenching, and we have Laura Luma made a statement when she said that the alligator Alcatraz is guaranteed 65 million meal. And she even said the alligator lives matters. And I'm like, God, why? Why would she make such a statement? First of all, I've made my research and I found out that that place is not even habitable. They have snakes, they have alligators there. It's a wild place. And places like that were meant to be for criminals. Why would they put people who are not criminals, people who who are meant to be deported in places like that? That's so cruel if you ask me. I saw it, I felt so bad. When I saw it, I cried. I'm like, God, what has America turned to? Where did they even get such money to build such a place in 8 days? How? Taxpayers' money, I guess. These people you all want to put inside there contributed in this monies too that you want to keep them there. How do they even get to feed those people? Come on. And it's even the place was built around water. It's very swampy. I saw the videos of children and parents already being taken to that place by the eyes under severe condition and monitoring. And I felt so bad. How would they even feed? A lot of them are about to lose their lives in that place. I'm telling you, you all. This is not a place to stay. At this point, if I were the one that was taken to that place, I would even regret going to America in the first place. Now I see the reason why even the Latinas are resisting being deported. Yo, this is really crazy. Let's watch these people, say their hearts about it, and I'll be back with the last one.
You know why they're calling it Alligator Alcatraz? They're calling it that to make a spectacle of something that will be deathly dangerous to the people who are detained there. Yesterday, convicted felon and President of the US Donald Trump toured the facility located just 6 miles away from Everglades National Park. This facility that they're referring to as Alligator Alcatraz is located on the site of the Dade Collier Airport Strip. The media keeps calling it Alligator Alcatraz, some quirky name for a spectacle, rather than what it really is, which is a human rights disaster in the making. And it opened today. They're saying there are 5,000 beds there, and the plan is to double that capacity to 10,000. Now, Governor DeSantis said, and I quote, "You'll be able to bring people in, they'll get processed, they'll have an order of removal, then they can be queued, and the federal government can fly right on the runway right there. You can literally drive them 2,000 feet, put them on the plane, and then they're gone." What does that mean? That means fast-track deportations with zero regard for due process, for care, or regard for human life. This detention facility comes with a price tag of $450 million a year. So how exactly was it that they were able to put this place together so quickly? DeSantis is abusing his emergency authority. He authorized a massive open-air tent city in the Everglades featuring barbed wire, porta potties, makeshift fences, no protection against the brutal heat, the insects, or the elements. Guys, it's about to be hurricane season in Florida. On day one, there are already reports that the facility is flooding. So what do you expect to happen when the hurricanes hit? This isn't just a detention camp, it is a death camp. But here's what I want to call out because somebody is getting rich off of this. So who? No surprise, it's companies and people related to those companies who've donated to far right-wing causes and to Donald Trump and DeSantis' campaigns. So let's go down the list of companies that Bloomberg says are receiving contracts for the construction of this facility. CDR companies, whose president is a supporter of DeSantis and Trump, they are running medical services. The SLSCO Limited, the same firm that built part of Trump's border wall. Garner Environmental Services is providing electricity for this facility, and Duty Calls is providing porta potties. All of these companies are contractors with deep ties to donors of these politicians and their campaigns. Guys, this isn't immigration policy. This is not immigration reform. This is cruel, inhumane, and by the way, this is a direct link to corruption. The far right's cronies are wrapped up in cruelty that goes beyond the imagination of what we have seen. And actually, let me correct that, because there is a Japanese American photographer who chronicles the detention facilities, comparing them to those that we saw in the 1940s that were holding Japanese Americans. By not giving this detention facility a name, and by allowing the media to call it Alligator Alcatraz, it ameliorates or lessens the effect of the cruelty that this truly represents. This is not just your normal run-of-the-mill detention facility, although those are horrific too by all accounts. What they have created here is a death camp funded by your tax dollars. I'm going to keep my eye on which other contractors are involved with this, and I'm going to expose them. If anyone finds out any investigations that are related to this, send them to me. I want to know.
Yeah, it's already flooding. The thing we said was going to happen happened at the grand opening, because building a concentration camp in the middle of a swamp in hurricane season was apparently a genius idea. This is what your tax dollars are funding. A privately run concentration camp tucked into the middle of the Everglades, where people are being locked up and treated like criminals for simply trying to survive. And now some of y'all are trying to rebrand it like it's a tourist attraction or the latest theme park. If you're looking for shock value, call it exactly what it is: a concentration camp in the Everglades. Stop feeding into the spectacle that Trump not only wants but enjoys. They are already making and selling merch. They do not need your assistance in memeing this situation and turning it into the latest internet trend. People are going to die in these conditions. This isn't safety, this isn't justice. This is cruelty for profit, and your tax dollars are going to fund it. Don't look away. Don't stop talking about this. Speak on it every chance you get. And do not help them rebrand inhumanity. Because while cruelty is the point for them, you do not have to be a part of it.
Why do you think they're targeting us so heavily? Why do you think the hatred and racism against us has intensified? It's always been there. It's always been there. We've always felt it. But in the last few years, and specifically the last few months, it's excessive, right? It's because of this. Because they feel threatened. They can't compete. The only way to do so is to literally kick us out of the country, kill us, or feed us to alligators, I guess. They can't compete. The stereotype that we're just the people who clean your toilets and mow your lawn, that no longer holds up. We're your lawyers. We're your doctors. We're your kids' teachers. We're your therapists. And we're bilingual. So we will always, always, always be more qualified for any job.
I'm in Florida, and I've got a beautiful lot here and an older home, and I love it. I really do. But unfortunately, about 3 hours south of where I live, they did a grand opening today, a grand opening celebration of a new concentration camp that our Governor Ron DeSantis decided to put together in about 72 hours time. And I saw brief footage that I could stomach to watch of him with some freaking reporter walking around like it's the opening of a new tourist attraction, a hotel or something. Of course, the visuals are anything but that. And then, of course, I had to see some footage today of the orange pig himself talking about how he guesses it's a dangerous place with the alligators and everything. God help us all.
You're not going to hear about this on the news, of course, but one of the president's top advisors, Laura Loomer, just called for the genocide of Latinos in the United States. In a tweet, when talking about the alligators at Trump's newest concentration camp for undocumented immigrants, Alligator Alcatraz, she said, "Alligator lives matter. The good news is alligators are guaranteed at least 65 million meals if we get started now." You guys, there are not 65 million undocumented immigrants or immigrants in the United States. But you know what there is 65 million of? Latinos in the United States. And that's exactly who she is talking about when she is referring to the 65 million meals for the alligators at Alligator Alcatraz. This is proof that it was never about the immigrants. It was always, always about making America white again. They are no longer hiding it. They are saying it out loud. And it is time that we start believing when they tell us who they are.
The fact that there are people in our country cheering about the fact that the government was able to create a uninhabitable and unsafe immigration holding area in the Everglades is insane to me. Laura Loomer just tweeted out today how she wants the alligators to eat 65 million immigrants, which is the entire Latino population in the United States. And I want to show you this area from Google Earth so you can understand how uninhabitable this area is. It doesn't matter what time of year it is, especially since we're going into hurricane season, it's especially cruel, but any time of year, this is not an environment where human beings can live. So right off the bat, the last time Google Earth satellites have updated over this area in Florida was in February of 2024. So this is not updated, and that's probably intentional, similar to how the Google Earth satellites don't update over Gitmo. So I'll be curious to see if we see an updated image here in the next few weeks or so. But here's what it looked like in February of 2024. But what I really want to show you is some of the other Google images that we can see from the surrounding area so that you can see what kind of a swampy wetland that this is in. So as you can see right there, there's the airstrip that's being turned into this immigration center. If we go right here, which is not far at all, we can see the terrain that these people are living in. And I apologize for invading in this family's swamp tour, but like this is what is surrounding this immigration center in the Everglades. And this poster on X made an excellent point after we got an inside view of what the tent city in the Everglades looks like. And this person pointed out something very important. They stated, first thing I spotted at Alligator Alcatraz was the linoleum floor. When exposed to moisture and water, it releases mycotoxins, which are deadly. Is this a death camp? We've seen that just a little bit of rainpour causes these tents to flood, and there are electrical outlets and generators all over the place. If someone were to take a wrong step on a puddle during a flood, they're going to be electrocuted. So anyone who's feeling like so overwhelmed by what is happening right now, I want you to really hone in on this triangle of immigration cruelty that is happening in and outside of our country done by our government. You know how we have the Bermuda Triangle? Yes, this is the triangle of cruelty in the United States. These are going to be the places you want to keep your eyes on because these will be the places where immigrants go and don't get heard from. Again, this is where they go to disappear. CCOT, Gitmo, and the Everglades Immigration Facility. It's a little bit easier for people to track down their loved ones when they are in immigration facilities that have been well established, that have been in the United States for years, et cetera, et cetera. But these newer facilities that are having droves of people sent to them will be the ones where human beings get lost in the cracks, either intentionally or non-intentionally. And I'm not saying don't keep an eye on all of the other immigration facilities. Please do. There are atrocities happening in all of them. But it's really beginning to feel that once an immigrant comes to one of these facilities, it's the end of the line. Like I wouldn't even drop my dog off at a facility like this. It's too much.
So they're calling it Alligator Alcatraz. They're proud of it. Really proud of it. Proud of how it was only built in 8 days. They're calling it Alligator Alcatraz. We know it's Alligator Auschwitz. This is what they're doing in the light. Proudly, loudly. What on earth are they doing behind closed doors? And I don't want to fearmonger, and it's important that we move forward with as much evidence as possible. But there are significant and serious questions about the women and children who've been taken by ICE and where they are, and all the men who were deported on those cargo planes and where they are. And, you know, they didn't expect that Kilmar Abrego Garcia would come back and give testimony about what happened to him in El Salvador. But as we expected, it's abuse and torture. When the truth comes out on this, and it will, it's inevitable. When the truth comes out on this, I don't feel like I will be shocked. I feel like the things that I am imagining they are doing in the dark are the things that they are doing.
Alligator Alcatraz feeding illegals to the gators. We need more of this energy. Alligator lives matter. The good news is alligators are guaranteed at least 65 million meals if we get started now. 65 million. I thought to myself, where the fuck is she getting that number? And I thought, I said, it's like a fifth of the goddamn country. And it dawned on me, and I looked it up. I said, what is the population of Hispanics here in America? That's where she's getting her number. That's where she's getting her number. This number is not just undocumented migrants, okay? The majority of this number are legal U.S. citizens, people who were born here, people who just happen to be Hispanic. Yes, I swear to fucking Jesus that these people opened up their Bibles, saw the part where babies were being thrown to goddamn gators, and they said, yeah, let's do that. That part. They're like, you know what? God did it. God endorsed it. It was in the Bible, I swear to God.
Welcome to Alligator Alcatraz. The entrance here is a 30-foot tall wall. None of this was here 5 days ago. It's got razor wire on the top. Just unbelievably impressive what the state of Florida has done here. Over my shoulder is the actual facility. As you can see, we'll be entering soon. This is the entry gate for Alligator Alcatraz. Got mosquitoes everywhere. They're like playing. There you go. Look at that. Not a fun place to be put in prison. You do not want to go here. Obviously, this is going to be a 5,000 bed federal facility. President Trump will be here soon. I'm getting swarmed by mosquitoes right now, and we saw at least 30 alligators on our way in driving. It is in the middle of truly nowhere. It took us an hour, 4-hour drive to get here today. It's crazy. Look at that. And there you go, ladies and gentlemen. As far as the eye can see, you go in, you don't come out. And if you do, the alligators get you, and the mosquitoes. Jeez. All right. Okay, we'll show you inside. Follow along. It's going to be amazing.
Our government built Alligator Alcatraz in 8 days. And Alligator Alcatraz is basically a prison or a concentration camp that is fully surrounded by waters infested with alligators. Like, first of all, whose money was even used to do that? 1 + 1, it always is some tax-paying dollar bullshit. But also at the same time, this is the same country that can't house the homeless. Just can't do that. Can't feed the starving. You can't do that. Honestly, people get, citations and tickets for feeding the starving people, for feeding the homeless people. They can't, give medical care to the poor. This is the same country that, is doing all of those things, but then builds Alligator Alcatraz in 8 days. It's almost as if they just don't want to actually help any of the actual issues, but they could if they wanted to. Clearly, because they can build Alligator Alcatraz in 8 days. So they just don't want to help. And then it's crazy because the trauma of being rounded up by ICE already for the immigrants is crazy. And then now you want to send the immigrants to Alligator Alcatraz, a prison or a concentration camp that is fully surrounded by waters infested with alligators. It sounds like the plot to a movie where there's an evil villain that does some diabolical shit where you can't even comprehend, but this is literally what is going on. Like, what?
Anybody else wake up this morning to the whole Alligator Alcatraz bullshit and Laura Loomer posting about how now they have enough food to feed 65 million alligators? And I'm like, that's so silly. Like, where are they coming up with 65 million? And then you realize they're getting that number because there's 65 million Hispanic people in the United States. And then you know a little bit about history, and you're thinking, okay, so this feels a little similar to the 1932 consolidation of power phase of Nazi Germany. And then you're like, oh, you're being so silly. That would never happen here. Ay, Marisa, que pendeja. Like, you're being so dramatic. And then you're seeing all these people just being taken away. And people, like good people, not criminals, but like abuelitas and moms and 6-year-olds with cancer. And a group of people in this country are really celebrating all of this. They're like excited, and they're calling for the extermination of our people, and they think it's funny. And then you read comments and people are really cruel. And then you're like, no, just vote for Love Island and distract yourself and go to the gym and go run your errands. Just be normal. And but there's something gnawing at the back of your mind, like, a warning. This is a warning. And so, anyways, anybody else starting to feel, I mean, I have been feeling like something's wrong for a while, but I think I've just been distracting myself. So, yeah, what are we doing? Anybody else going through this?
Y'all are okay with this? Y'all are okay with this? This is gonna make America great again? A concentration camp? Y'all realize that this looks just like this. This is Auschwitz. Yeah, that's what you're rooting for right now. This is what you mean by make America great again. Do y'all know that they built this in 8 days? 8 days, while y'all veterans, you guys just rep your veterans so bad. We stand with our vets, 4th of July. Let's celebrate their sacrifice. But you don't care about the fact that Trump, he couldn't possibly make something like this to house some homeless veterans. No, of course not. The people that fought for your freedom. No. He's got to build this whole thing in 8 days to be able to torture people. Do you guys know that they took They took alligators. They're finding the largest alligators, the most poisonous snake, and putting it in this moat around this detention center. So that in the words of Trump, nature can be the security. And they're just gonna have to learn how to run from alligators. Ha ha ha. It's so funny how some of y'all are sitting here saying you're okay with this, buying the merch that they're making with alligators on the front, talking about some alligator Alcatraz. Y'all don't even realize you're wrapping the same thing, the same system, the same idea that was feeding little black babies to alligators, that were ripping the babies from their mother's arms and throwing them into the pond to be unalived. If you don't believe me, look at this advertisement. If you don't believe me, look at this advertisement. Okay? You're demonic. I promise you right now, I'm gonna say this again. If you think that this is okay, you think that this is biblical even, you're demonic, you're possessed. Nobody on God's green earth, I'm itching, y'all, I'm itching. No one can make me feel like this is okay. These are people. These are people. I can't even understand how so many of y'all are claiming to follow Jesus, and you're doing this. You think that I know they're paying these people what, over $3,000 a month? That's over $100,000 to be security guards in Alligator Alcatraz. But we can't get minimum wage to be moved, right? They're working on taking away government assistance like SNAP, EBT, Medicaid, but they're willing to pay the security guards for this concentration camp upwards of $100,000 a year. Do you guys see the joke? You're telling me that there can't be somewhere to detain people that are pedos, if you know what I mean, pedos? We can't get this for school pewers. We can't get this for P. Diddy? Like, are you joking me? But you can snatch away mothers and fathers and children and shove them in a concentration camp in the middle of the Everglades? Crazy thing is, I see so many people saying, well, this ain't my fight. This ain't my fight. It is your fight. Because you better believe, baby, it ain't gonna stop here. It's not gonna stop here. America's getting to a point where biblical prophecy is unfolding. That's all I'm gonna say. Y'all don't see all there is to be seen because you only see what's right in front of you. That's all I'm gonna say. All you people talking about some repent, Jesus is coming. You repent. If you believe in this, you repent. Because I promise you, if you think this is okay, know what you're gonna hear? Depart from me because I never knew you. That's what you're gonna hear when Jesus comes back. Okay? Like, y'all, I'm so mad. I just make America great again. What a freaking joke.
This is a show, not a solution. Alligator Alcatraz isn't about border security, y'all. It's about the optics of control. It's Trump saying, look how hard I'm cracking down, right? Look how brutal I can be. Look how much power I have. It's theater for MAGA rallies. It's red meat for Christian nationalists. It's a billboard ad campaign that's built on racism, spectacle, and inhumanity. You know what Trump could do with $450 million a year? He could hire 15,000 immigration caseworkers to process applications faster. He could fund legal representation for every undocumented child in detention. He could even expand entry and exit tracking systems that actually reduce overstays. He can increase visa availability for legal migration in needed labor sectors. He can create pathways to citizenship for more longtime contributors to society. He can even build humane community-based alternatives to detention. But he won't. Because Trump doesn't want solutions. He wants a stage. Let me tell you what's really happening here. This is state-sanctioned cruelty. It's being repackaged as leadership. It's a $450 million a year propaganda machine. That makes violence look like strength. It makes cages look like justice, and it makes racism look like patriotism. It also makes inhumanity the new normal. And it's being backed by Christian nationalism, corporate donors, and a base conditioned to cheer for oppression. Alligator Alcatraz isn't a detention center. It's a mirror showing us what America is becoming. A nation where brutality is policy, morality is mocked, and the poorest people on earth are being used as political props for a man who's never known compassion. $450 million for a spectacle, $0 for humanity. This isn't law and order. This is lawlessness wrapped in a flag, and too many people are clapping for it.
We're getting a first look at what the bunking areas look like here at Alligator Alcatraz. This is one of the rooms or tents that are going to have 1,000 bunks. Each area is sectioned off in 32 bunks. Men and women will be separated. They do expect to have men and women over the age of 18, but mostly men here detained in this facility.
Some of the things that stood out to us, this is going to have housed 3,000 detainees. When we came in, barbed wire on every single fence, 28,000 feet of it actually, 400 security personnel, 200 security cameras around here, and 1,000 staff to run this facility. It's going to be paid for by the federal government, fully reimbursed through FEMA. This space is going to be used to fly people out directly for deportation. So it's going to house, process legal cases, and then fly people out.
Wow. This is what we liken to modern world slavery. This is slavery. A human being shouldn't be in this kind of place. at all. This is who wants to be here? Honestly, but why I get angry and why I get mad at this thing is at the end of the day, you have a lot of Hispanics there, you have a lot of Latinos there, and these people were warned. You people knew this man. Okay, even if you didn't know this man, you people were warned. Don't. And people insisted. You were all after, oh, the color of your skin. Oh, we all are the same. Now they are saying you all are not the same. This is the place you're going to be if you're caught. If you're not a legal migrant, nigga, this is where you're going to be. Why I feel so sad is the division this is going to create at the end of the day. Families are going to be torn apart, children are not going to be happy, you know what all these things can do to a family. And all of that. It's so painful. For me, I would also say, yeah, alligator, whatever, looks like a demonic place. It looks like the pit of hell. That place is the real pit of hell. Nobody should tell me anything. That place is the real pit of hell. But you guys voted. You voted for him. And now Laura Luma is putting it to your face. She said 65 million. Who are the 65 million citizens in America? Of course, Latinos. Yeah, I'll stop here, right? And then I'll go bring more gist for you all. As you all know, it's on the gist, Global Gist with BJ. Do not forget to subscribe. Do not forget to like. Turn on your notification buttons because I'm going to be bringing a lot, a lot. Keep that in mind that this blog is going to be the place you're going to be seeing your gist you want. Let me see in the comment section what you think about this horrible place. Come on.